Welcome to another episode of Pimp Your Brilliance with Monique Malcolm, a podcast about brilliant people leveraging their passions to create their own opportunities. I aim to show you what's really possible when you shut down the chorus of fear and lean into your genius zone. You can learn more about this show and subscribe for updates by visiting keepchasingthestars.com/podcast or come hang out with me on Instagram at StarChasersOnly. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hey Star Chasers, this episode of Pimp Your Brilliance is brought to you by the Visionary Journal. The Visionary Journal is a goal-setting guide, mini vision board, and day planner. It provides a simple structure to help you break your goals into actionable steps that you can integrate into your daily life. Pre-orders are now open for the new and improved Galaxy Visionary Journal. For more information and to pre-order a copy, visit visionaryjournal.co. Welcome to Minisode number 12. For more information or for show notes, you can find them at keepchasingthestars.com/M12. Today, I want to talk to you about the Visionary Journal. And by the end of this episode, I will have given you 5 reasons why you need the Visionary Journal for 2018. But before we get into those reasons, I want to give you a little bit of a backstory about the Visionary Journal. And I've talked about this loosely in a previous episode where I talked about how to manufacture physical products, but I want to kind of tell you guys about what's going on with the Visionary Journal right now at this moment, because it's important and it's the beginning of a shift in my business. And so I aim to be as transparent about these things as possible. So I want to share with you guys where I'm at in this journey with this planner business. For those of you who don't know, the Visionary Journal is a planner that I developed for the very first time in the very end of 2014. And in January of 2015, I launched the very first version, and it was a DIY version. I handmade them myself. By the end of 2015, so around September, I had successfully gone through production for the Visionary Journal with a local printer, a commercial printer, for the very first time. And so then it was professionally printed and bound, and I was super excited. But here's the thing. From the beginning, I've always had like a very specific vision about what the Visionary Journal should look like and how I wanted it to feel. But there were limitations as far as what I could do with my commercial printer, my local printer. Specifically, like one of the big things every year that I brought in my wish list, because, whenever it would be planner season, I would meet with them. We would talk about, what my plans are for this year, what I'm hoping the planner to look like. And so one of my biggest wish list things all the time was I wanted it to have a hardcover. And we tried different things. We tried different materials, and we tried, having a plastic overlay for protection. And all of those things were nice. But they just didn't have that solid hardcover that I had wanted from the very beginning. So that was always like an issue that was kind of nagging me about the planner. Because again, it's my baby. It's my passion project. So I know what I want it to look like. I know how I want it to feel. Let's fast forward to October of last year. I successfully raised $15,000 to bring the Visionary Journal to production for a second time. And that was amazing. It was such an incredible experience. And it made me feel really good about, where the community was headed with the Visionary Journal and how much more of an impact I could have by producing this product again with the support of friends and, fans and family. So it was really nice, a really great thing. So fast forward again, here we are October, and I recently opened up pre-sales for the Visionary Journal Galaxy. And so the Galaxy design is the design that I brought out last year with the Kickstarter, and it was so popular. It was so popular that the design sold out like right away. And ever since then, I've gotten emails and messages and texts about people who want to know, like, is it coming back for 2018? And I honestly did not have plans to bring it back at the beginning of the year. It was going to maybe be something I did towards the end of 2018, just because I had a lot of stuff going on. But I actually was contacted by a factory that said that they could make this planner, and they could make it, at a lower cost, and they would make, with all the wish list bells and whistles things that I wanted. And so I kind of took a step back and did some research to try to see if this company or this factory was legit. And I asked them, what would it cost me to get a sample of the planner? So they gave me the cost, and I sent them the file. And a little bit over 2 weeks later, I had the sample of the Visionary Journal, which I posted on Instagram, and people were super hype because they did all the wish list things that I have been wanting for this planner for the longest time. So they did the hardcover. They also were able to make an elastic band that can keep the planner together, which was something that was a requested feature from people who were using it. They wanted a way to keep the book closed and tight and all of their notes and things tucked inside. They also were able to make each month have a tab. And that was another requested feature. So people were going out and having to buy their own monthly tabs because the Visionary Journal is undated. So it didn't have monthly tabs, but people were having to buy them. And so this was something that people were requesting, either I make them or I figure out how to get monthly tabs. So the factory was able to do the monthly tabs. I was also able to get a pocket. And when I tell you, when I held that sample in my hands for the first time, I wanted to cry because it was everything that I wanted and I felt the Visionary Journal could be and should be. But I also believe everything happens in time. And so, without going through the previous process and working with the local printer, a lot of what I've been able to do with the Visionary Journal, I just really wouldn't know how to do because when you're doing commercial printing, it's different from printing on your home computer. So the process, there's things that you have to learn. So fast forward to now, I have this planner. It's beautiful. It's the Galaxy design. I'm super hype about it. I want everybody to have it, but, it's costly. It's really costly to print things, and it's really costly to manufacture physical products. And if you're not a person who works in the space of doing physical products, then you just don't realize there's a lot of overhead that you have that comes into play. So you have to think about things like manufacturing costs, shipping and delivering, dealing with freight companies to deliver things, and you need storage and warehouse. So there's a lot of costs that are associated with having a physical good. So to help me offset that cost, I decided to open up pre-sales because the manufacturer has a minimum order quantity of 500. And I personally don't want to take on the risk of having 500 planners in my house. So I have decided to open up pre-orders, and I'm offering pre-orders for the Galaxy version of the Visionary Journal. I have a goal to raise $10,000 in pre-sales by November 15th, so that way I can get the orders submitted and hopefully have the planners back by January-ish, February at the latest. So the time is of the essence here, and I wanted to do this episode to really kind of explain to you guys not only what I'm doing and give you some insight into my process, but also to give you some reasons why I think the Visionary Journal is the best planner system and why I think you need it for 2018. And I know I'm biased because I created it, I use it, I've been using it for the past 2 years, so I know the system inside and out, but I'm always learning new ways that other people are using it or discovering things that people are doing with it that I didn't even, consider. So here is my 5 reasons why you need the Visionary Journal for 2018. My first reason why is it's more than a day planner. It's a goal-setting system. And what I mean by that is when you look at the majority of planners that are on the market, not all of them, but the majority of them, most of them are nothing more than glorified to-do list. And there's nothing wrong with that if you plan that way. But if you're someone who is really driven, you're ambitious, you have goals, and you want to crush them, you need a goal-setting system. You need something that has space for you to be planning. You need space to track your progress. You need something that's going to help you take your ideas and make them happen. And I find that a lot of the planners on the market, they just don't do that. They're great. They have, plenty of writing space and they have scheduling pages, but they really encourage people to use a to-do list. And I don't really think a to-do list is the most effective way to get things done and make your goals happen. Because for the most part, your to-do list is reactionary. So normally things that are on your to-do list, they're issues that have popped up. They're things that you realize you forgot. They're requests from other people. Your to-do list is not focused on your goals. And so if you plan your day-to-day focusing only on your to-do list, it's really easy to lose sight of your goals, and it's really easy to lose sight of the important work that you should be doing. With the Visionary Journal, it's a goal-setting system, and there's 3 components to it: goal, vision, and plan. The goals section is all about your goals. So you're setting your focus areas for the year. You can set up to 6. So that's things like health, spiritual, career, family, happiness, whatever areas of your life that you want to focus on. You can set 2 goals for each area. And then you take those goals and you put them into a goal action plan. So you take the goal, you brainstorm, you mind map, you figure out what steps you need to take to make sure this goal gets done. And then you put together a goal action plan. Listen out, what your goal is, why it's important, what's your deadline, and then all the steps that you need to take to make this goal happen. So that's all housed in the goal section of the planner. And then you move on to the vision section. And so with the vision section, this is all about keeping you motivated and inspired to go after that goal. Because here's the thing, if you can visualize something, if you can see it in your mind and you can believe it for yourself, you have a higher chance of being able to achieve that thing. So I don't believe that your vision board needs to be separate from your goal or your plans. And I hear people talk about, vision all the time, but I feel like it's very disjointed because they talk so much about vision and visualizing and having a vision board, but there's not an equal amount of talk about, what goals did you set to make that vision a reality? And so that's why I designed the system with you choosing your goals first and then creating your vision second. So that way you're creating vision board pages that reflect what you actually put in your goal pages. And so there's an entire section for that, for you just to put together some mini vision boards. So you have your visualization tool and your motivation tool with you inside of your planner for motivation whenever you need it. And then the final section is the plan section. And for the plan section, this is the heart and soul of the planner. This is where you spend the majority of your time. But the plan section consists of regular 90-day action plans and reviews. So there's space for you to say, here are the goals that I'm working on for the next 90 days. Here are the upcoming tasks that need to be focused on. And then you're able to take those things from your action plan and put them onto your schedule on a monthly and then a weekly basis. So just taking that idea and moving it along the process. So saying, here's my 90-day plan. All right, so here's what I'm working for the first 30 days and putting that actually on your calendar, in your schedule and saying, here's when I'm going to do that work. It is a goal setting system. It's not just a day planner. So my second reason why you need the Visionary Journal for 2018 is it houses all of the elements of the goal setting process in one book. And I kind of mentioned this previously, but a lot of times we have goals and we may have written out our goals and mapped them out in a notebook. We'll put them on a whiteboard. But again, I don't think these things have to be separate. I think they can be all housed in one book. And so I designed the planner so that you could house them all in one book. And it's neat, it's compact, it's functional. And I think it's smart. I'm not sure why we don't really think in terms of putting all of these pieces together all of the time. They're usually separate. You have your vision board on your wall, you have your action plan, in some random notebook, and then you have your day planner for your schedule and your weekly stuff that you have to do. Well, I took all of those and I said they are all, pieces of the whole, and I just put them together in one space. Reason number 3, it helps you go from big picture goal to done. And I think this is one of the most important things because it's really easy to lose sight of your goal. It's really easy to have a goal that feels really big and overwhelming, and you feel like, oh, how can I really get this done? But with the Visionary Journal, using the goal setting system and using the plan section the way that I designed, you go from having this big goal, this action plan that's full of steps, to taking that action plan that's full of steps, breaking it down and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to tackle for the next 90 days. And then after you've gotten, that 90-day plan put together, taking that plan and saying, okay, here's what I'm going to tackle at the 30-day mark. Here's what I'm going to tackle for the 60-day mark. Here's what I'm going to tackle for the 90-day mark. So you're actually like distilling this goal down from big goal to just small steps. And then once you have your 90-day plan figured out and you know what you're doing at the 30, 60, 90 days, from there, you just have to get it on your schedule. Whatever tasks you said you're going to complete for the first 30 days, you take those tasks and you actually assign them weeks, and then you assign them a day, and then you go do the work on that day. And so if you follow that process, it makes it less overwhelming, but you'll really see that you've gone from that big picture idea all the way down to like the smallest step that you can start working on during your week. And I think that is a really key part of my system, being able to go from idea to done. The 4th reason why you need the Visionary Journal for 2018 is it makes you proactive about planning ahead. This is an issue so many creatives have because in a lot of ways, we've trained ourselves to be reactionary about our planning. So we realize, something isn't working and we just react instead of planning ahead, giving ourselves enough time to implement these ideas, giving ourselves enough time to launch, giving ourselves enough time to get our stuff together. But a lot of times we don't do that. We are chasing the month, so we're not doing things ahead of time. We're trying to do things in the moment, and it's burning us out because we're not giving ourselves breathing room and space and time to get ahead and get our work done. But with the way that the Visionary Journal is set up, it tells you every 90 days, like you hit the 90-day action plan, and it's laid out for you like this is what you need to be planning for. And it makes you proactive because if you can plan 90 days ahead of time, or even if you didn't feel like doing 90 days, even if you planned 60 days ahead of time, you are more proactive about what's going to be done. You'll be able to plan around issues, like you'll be able to plan around appointments or, time that you need off. You'll know ahead of time and you'll be able to schedule that. And you can, if something does come up, you have the flexibility in your schedule because you've planned ahead to move things around. You don't have that same type of flexibility if you're chasing the month and trying to catch up. This is one of the things that I really want people to focus on when they're using the journals. Like, be proactive about planning ahead of time. Like, stop saddling yourself with work that you have to complete today or else everything's going to fall apart because you haven't planned well. Learn how to plan better. Once you learn how to plan better, you'll see that you can achieve a lot more of your goals faster, and it's a lot easier because you've planned ahead and you've made arrangements, and you can have a bigger impact because if you need to involve other people in things, they have time to come on board. It's not rush all the time. My final reason is the Visionary Journal encourages you to do regular reviews and reflection. And this is something that people who use the Visionary Journal always tell me they love about the system, that at the end of every month, there's a reflections page and it asks you to list out your accomplishments. And they always say, like, once they sit down and they start writing out their accomplishments, they look back over the weeks and see what they actually got done. They feel so much better because before they sat down to do that, like, they didn't realize how much they actually got done. how much they actually accomplished. And I think it's a struggle of the creative mind. We're always going, we're always pushing. It's never satisfied. So we never spend enough time like patting ourselves on the back about the job well done that we did, or really, basking in the amazing things that we accomplished. We don't give ourselves enough credit. And so the Visionary Journal encourages you to do that. It says, what did you accomplish this month? List them all out. And sometimes you need that. Like, you need to clap for yourself and give yourself a pat on the back. On the same token, the 90-day sections, every 90 days, you have a section that asks you a few questions for review. Are you still on track? What went really well? What are your proudest accomplishments of the last 90 days? What do you need to change or adjust to get back on track? So it forces you to stop and think about, what did I do? What was a challenge to me? And how can I fix that going forward? And that is one of the really key components to achieving your goals. There's 3: committing, making time for regular reflection or review, and time management. If you can knock out those 3 things when you are setting goals, you'll find that you achieve so much more, because the commitment piece, just doing the work, you can't get around that. The regular review, that helps you make adjustments. That helps you make better plans. That helps you schedule better, because you're able to kind of see, what worked, what didn't work, where do I need to put more effort, and if I'm off track. If you never review your goals, trust me, you are missing out on a huge opportunity, because you're probably not staying as on track as you could be, because you're not going back to review and see what you did right and where you can improve. And then time management, I feel like that's a given, because so many people struggle with it. But once you get handle on managing your time, you're just able to get more done. You're able to be more productive. With the Visionary Journal, it's regular review and reflections. You are reflecting every month, and you're doing a review every 90 days. So if you actually use the system consistently, you're not losing track of where you are. You're not losing sight of your goals, because by the default of the planner, it's forcing you to go back and review your plans constantly. And that's important. That's how you keep your goals top of mind. As a bonus reason number 6, the Visionary Journal actually works. And I'm not just saying that. I have had so many excellent testimonials about what people have been able to achieve with their Visionary Journal. From the woman who told me she used it to help her train for a triathlon, and she was on the finisher's podium. Someone said they used the Visionary Journal to help them plan for and budget for a house. Someone else purchased the Visionary Journal for their daughter to use with their therapist, because she has really bad anxiety. And she said it's helping her set better goals, and it really works with the way that her mind works. And just today on Instagram, I saw a woman who has a book that's for pre-sale that she wrote this year. And she said that she's going to have her husband purchase a new copy of Visionary Journal for her for Christmas this year, because she was like, I can honestly say, like, I was able to level up my life and my business this year because of the Visionary Journal. And she said the vision boards are everything, and just the way that it all works with the entire system has really helped her. And so when I read things like that, like, it makes me feel good, because being that this is a physical product, like, I send them off and sometimes I don't hear from people for months. And so I never know how they're doing. But once they come back and they tell me, like, this helped me plan better, people think I'm so organized because of this, it makes me feel good, because it's something that I developed. And as I said, this is my passion project and a way that I am really growing my brand and helping my brand stand out from some of the other people who are in a similar space. I couldn't be more proud. It's one of those things where you always hear people say, like, share your gifts, because you don't know how you're impacting people's lives. And sometimes I hear that, I'm just like, oh, it's a planner. Is it really changing somebody's lives? But then somebody comes back and they say, I was able to do this thing, or I was able to do this life-altering event. And it's just like amazing. Like, wow, something that I made and I put it into your hands, and you were able to manifest something great for yourself. And I think that that's such an awesome feeling. All that being said, those are my 6 reasons why you need the Visionary Journal for 2018. Just as a recap, because it's a goal-setting system, it houses all the elements of the goal-setting process in one book. It helps you go from big picture goal to done. It makes you proactive about planning ahead. It encourages regular review and reflection. And as a bonus, the Visionary Journal system does actually work. So if you are interested in pre-ordering a copy, as I said, I am trying to pre-sell $10,000 worth of copies by November 15th. You can check out the Visionary Journal at visionaryjournal.co. During pre-orders, I am offering free shipping on all pre-ordered planners. All you have to do is put in Galaxy at the checkout, and it will give you free shipping if you're within the US. So please share, tell a friend, have them listen to this episode. And if you have questions, hit me up. hello@keepchasingthestars.com. But I'm really excited to bring this next level version of the Visionary Journal to life for 2018. And that's it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for listening. Learn more about this show and get access to show notes by visiting keepchasingthestars.com. While you're there, make sure you subscribe for updates. I'll be back next week, and in the meantime, go out there and pimp your brilliance.